Hello everyone, I'm Drac, or Draconics. I'm the project lead, producer, and editor, one of the editors, editor the other one, of Beyond the Brook. Just hopping in real quick to let you all know that unfortunately, during recording, we lost the video footage of episode 2, but you still have the audio. So you still have an episode for you to enjoy today, but just want to let you know what you're coming into before you get surprised. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy episode 2 of Beyond the Brook.
Before you dive into this story, let me give you a few content warnings. The last thing I want is to catch you too off guard, dear. This tale may include death or reference to it, surreality, alcohol, smoking, unreality, and mild harm to children. But don't worry. While they may get some bumps and bruises, no children will die. Everyone who helped tell this story had a set of safety tools to use in case anything became triggering to them. But I want you to be safe as well. So if anything happens that is triggering to you, please do take care of yourself. Remember, you can always step away if you need to. Oh, well, now that we've gone through that, why don't we begin? Let's see what lies beyond the brook.
Hello and welcome, viewers, to the second episode of Beyond the Brook, a miniseries inspired by the Over the Garden Wall animated series, using the Babes in the Woods role-playing system to tell the story of 5 children lost in the mysterious wilderness known only as the Backwoods. I am your narrator, Edward Spence, and shall we say hello to our children? We have the wonderful Lexi. Would you like to introduce yourself and your character?
Absolutely. My name is Lexi, otherwise known as Black Girl Mage, and today I'm playing Gust or Gustin, your friendly little puff of air along the backwoods.
And we have the wonderful Laurel.
Hi, I'm Laurel, or at Laurel Rothamel on everywhere except Twitch. I'm just Laurel. And I am playing Angie, who is a very curious 6-year-old wannabe witch. Might be witch. We'll find out.
And we have the stunning Stella.
Hello, I'm Stella Luna on Twitch, Stella Luna TV on all other social media. Today I'll be playing Honey. I'm a honey elemental, and I've got trauma. It's like everyone else here.
And we have the sensational C.
Hi everyone, I'm C. You can find me at C Plays RPG, and tonight I have the absolute pleasure of playing Lou. That's me.
And the marvelous Maddie.
Hi, I'm Maddie Duvernay. I'm Maddie Duvernay everywhere, and I'll be playing Ixia, just a silly little flower child.
And how are we feeling about going back into the backwoods for the second time? We all feeling good?
Excited.
Very good. Very good.
I think I'm excited.
Okay, so there's room for improvement. Okay. So before we delve into the backwoods and see what we think about it, we would also like to thank the wonderful folks over at Die Hard Dice and Frivolous Bear for sponsoring this series. They're incredible. 2 amazing teams. Go check them out. And for now, let us delve once more into the depths of the backwoods and the mysteries that lay in store in Chapter 2, The Circus. Fall is waning. Winter is coming. And within the depths of the woods, 5 disparate children have come together. Having evaded the insidious grasp of the Witchfinder, they begin to move southwards through the backwoods, unaware that their journey together has only just begun. Trees creak in the breeze. Squirrels leap from branch to branch. Bird nests rest precariously on the boughs above. And on the ground below, 4 pairs of feet and one very long trail of honey make their way through the undergrowth of the backwoods as echoes of 5 children echo all about.
Angie's waddling.
Like slide.
Do we know where we're going?
Yes, of course I know where I'm going. Probably.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Penny knows where we're going.
Well, a penny is too far back to actually navigate, so I can navigate just fine.
Then why am I the one in the front?
Because you're so small and hard to keep track of. I need to be looking at you all the time. You just disappear somewhere like a witch. Poof. And then what? And then I'm without a witch to bring back to Mother Wolf.
Angie stops in her tracks and she turns around and she looks at you and she says, "What do you mean like a witch? I am a witch."
Well, don't cast any spells on me. You don't need to prove it, okay?
Okay. Well. Shall we proceed onward? I've always wanted to say that. I'm wondering if I could use one of my special moves.
Absolutely, you can.
I would like to use Stumble Upon.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what does that entail?
Okay, so I get distracted by something and I follow my whimsy away from the group and hopefully find something.
Interesting. Okay. Do you have to roll for that, or is that just...
Yeah, it says that I add my noodle.
Okay, so if you can roll for me and add your noodle for me, please.
Okay, so I got a 2 and a 3, and my noodle is 0. So 5.
So, I will say with that, despite, in your opinion, your very earned confidence, you don't know your way around here at all. However, as you stand there, and as the rest of the group begin to follow, you see in the skies above you, slowly descending and almost within broom's reach, a very familiar black bee flying through the air. It hovers in the air above you, moving underneath the tree boughs before disappearing up into the sky once more.
Hey! Hey! I know you! Bees don't usually look like you! Okay, bye!
Bees? Did you say bees?
Yeah! Why would a snot creature like you want to know what a bee looks like?
Oh, I'm made out of honey.
Yeah, snot.
Oh.
Bubble gets bigger.
It pops.
Oh god.
Are we in danger of bees?
No, one of my very first memories when I was here, I remember that bee. But he doesn't look like a bee. He looks like a dark bee. Like something you see in an anime. You know, when they're evil.
I don't know what an anime is, but
Is this like Santa? Is this a Santa thing?
Does anime work with Santa?
I forgot that you guys don't know these things, huh? Okay, so in an anime is when you watch moving pictures and everybody talks really fast and everybody has all these special powers like I do with my broom.
You really are a witch.
I am.
Witchcraft.
Yeah.
Angie, I am going to ask you to make a wood move. Now, the way that a wood move works is when you're moving from location to location. Only one of you makes this move, and you minus your fear and you plus your hope. On a 10 plus, you will find something. On a 7 to 9, you will choose another kid to confide in. And on a 6 and below, we'll find out.
Oh no, that's a 1. No, that's a 1. But wait, How much XP do I need to re-roll?
Just 2.
I only have 1 XP. All right, I'm sticking with that 2.
Okay. As you turn around to the rest of the group, you realize that you have walked on ahead and you have lost them. However, in the air all around you, you hear a strange lilting sound floating through the trees. It is the sound of an organ floating between the trees, and it is just off in the distance, out of sight.
Guys, I don't know where you went, but I'm gonna follow the music sound, and you guys can follow the music sound too, maybe. Okay, I'll meet you at the music sounds. And she waddles through.
As you do so, you move through the undergrowth, through the bushes, through the trees, and as the trees begin to part, you step into an enormous open clearing. The first thing you see is a teeming crowd of people, their chatter filling the air all around you. Adults, children, families, all impeccably dressed in their Sunday best. A cornucopia of greys, browns, and beiges, and all of them are lined up as they file into a large striped edifice at its center. A ginormous, circular, red and white striped circus tent, looming tall above all who enter, and from its coned roof, flickering gently in the breeze, you see a long triangular yellow flag with bold, beautiful maroon words, Tenniel's Traveling Circus. And as your eyes move down, you see that through the crowds, these words are emblazoned everywhere, on the side of every stall, every ride, and every cart that surrounds the clearing, the same name, over and over and over and over. Tenniel, 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 Tenniel. And as music continues to drift around the clearing, you see its source. Stood to one side, a large red organ, in front of which you see sits a rather sad-looking beagle in an oversized black tailcoat playing the ivories, and this jaunty melody seems to circle the circus as you take in the stalls around you. You see a helter-skelter, a candy floss stand, hook-a-duck, ring toss, and much more beside. And you notice that overseeing each and every one of these attractions, there are animals, all of them dressed in ill-fitting clothes, and all of them look immensely miserable.
Wow. This reminds me of that time that I went to the pier with my mom, and my mom forgot about me. But then I played around for like 3 hours. I can just do that again until I find my friends.
Can you make a brace yourself check for me, please?
Yes. 5 + 5 + 0.
You look around as you see a large crowd of people swarming towards you, and you manage to duck just out of the way as this pillar of adults and children alike continue to form a column that slowly snails its way into the large tent. You see that this is the source of everyone's attention as they disappear inside.
I sense that I am supposed to go in this direction in order to move the plot line. And then I take my broom, I put it between my legs, and I adjust my hat so that it's sitting snugly on my head, and I waddle forward, and I follow in suit.
Meanwhile, inside the forest, the rest of you begin to notice a distinct lack of sound from the front of the party. A lack of chatter. A distinct voice is no longer amongst you.
Ah! Why? How is this? She always witches. Where did she?
Okay, I think the main thing we need to be worrying about is that she's a child and she's gone. Where did she go?
I don't know. I've been behind behind our honey friend here, picking out all the flies.
Hold on. I'm catching up. Still coming up. Why have we stopped? What's happening?
Ugh, this is such a disaster.
Lou, you gotta watch your, when you get stressed like this, it's really not good for you. So you should try to calm down just a little bit so that you could see clearer as a hunter. I know these things because I've been in the woods for so long.
You've been in the woods for so long?
Yeah.
You look like you got here today.
Guys, please. Angie's gone. We have to find her.
Mother Wolf always says that witches are too powerful for their own good, and this is exactly what she meant.
Okay, but the thing that we just went up against is still out there somewhere. And she's alone.
Why don't you, Gust, take a gander?
Will do. Okay, that's gonna be a 7.
A 7, okay. So, you may choose one of the following. You may infer something important about the folks who live in this area, but I will stretch that to find footprints. You notice an item that piques your interest, or you notice something dangerous that would be wise to avoid.
I think I'd like to infer something important about the people that live in this area. Or footsteps.
So, I will say that... Gust. Considering who, and more specifically, what you are, you close your eyes as the breeze moves all about you. It flows through the forest in a manner that is familiar, albeit somewhat discomforting for you. Scents move on the wind. Smells, tastes. There are 2 distinct smells. One, very, very familiar. Angie. The other is altogether sweeter. And as you move forward, allowing the breeze to move you in a way that is entirely natural to you, you see that upon a leaf nearby, snagged from, you can only assume, a passing vendor, a small pink cloud of candy floss.
I will step forward. I'll say, since I apparently just got here today, I guess I won't tell you about the obvious trail that our friend Angie has left behind for us. And actually, it's less obvious. I'm just very good at investigating. Everyone, look here, and I will point down at the pink candy floss. I'll call it. I'll go with you on that. Look, it's a cloud from this guy.
I don't think that's a cloud. And then I put a piece of it in my mouth. Whoa, it just disappeared. It tastes really sweet.
Did you just eat the evidence?
Not all of it.
Oh.
Where could something like this have come from? If not the sky?
I feel like I remember seeing this somewhere. But I don't know where. But wherever it is, I feel like it'll have like a lot of lights. Maybe games?
Whoa. When I touch it, it fuses with my fingers.
Doesn't that happen to everything?
Stop touching the evidence, everyone, please.
You just ruined part of the evidence too.
Oh,
Oh.
Anyone else take the evidence, please. Not just against you, but just that
Lou,
everyone's
take it.
eating it.
Okay. No, I can do something with this. And Lou like sniffs it all the way, and like a little bit gets in their nose. That's how you're supposed to do it.
I can't do that. I don't have a nose.
I would like to use my special move to reach out when I need to find someone in the wood to assist in your journey or with a task. Roll plus noodle. I'm trying to find Angie or use this piece of candy floss or the cloud or this flower.
I feel this is a transatlantic thing. So what is what's the correct
Cotton candy.
Cotton
Cotton
candy.
candy. There we go. Cotton candy. I will adjust my notes for
No, it's candy floss now.
It is candy floss.
It's too late now.
Yeah.
You know, there's something
Alright,
used for your
using
teeth.
it.
It's all good.
Yeah, easy.
So you take the cotton candy, and what do you roll?
I roll 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. Handsome 7.
A handsome 7. You are able to gauge certainly the candy. The cotton candy's direction.
I don't know. It sounds kind of like, unnatural. You trying to push the cotton candy now. Just go with the candy floss. It's great.
You hear where the cotton candy comes from, and it's further on down the wood. Of your friend, however, you smell nothing, but the smell of sugar is strong, and it is distinct, and it is southwards.
On a 7 to 9, I have heard of someone, but also have heard a nasty rumor about them. What is this nasty rumor about candy floss that I know?
So of candy floss, nothing. However, candy floss is rare. It is un-American. But certainly within the Backwoods, you know, and you have heard tell, from Mother Wolf especially, that there is a traveller in these parts, a man called Thomas Tenniel. He is alone save for the animals that he collects. Mother Wolf has advised you to steer clear of this man, lest you fall into his coterie of creatures.
We shouldn't go that way, I think, with the cotton candy.
Why not?
Well, it's dangerous. Oh, but the witch is definitely that way. The witch loves lights and candy and sweets and talking, being loud, looking at stuff. I
will admit that I've started moving in a direction, and if I slow down, then it'll be very hard to maintain this top speed. So we should pick a direction.
Slightly to the left. This way.
Okay.
So we go in, and we go out, because it's this, and they hold up the cotton candy. It's dangerous. This is pure evil. It goes against everything that Mother Wolf stands against.
Can I have another bite?
Yes, destroy it.
What? Destroying the... Okay, fine. I guess nobody here has done an investigation before, but whatever.
If you want, I've saved some of the evidence. And I just kind of shake honey off of my hand. It's slightly pink, and I drop it into yours.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. I'll carry this. I'll just carry it.
So making your way through the woods, in various levels of stickiness, you move through the brush, through the bushes, through the undergrowth, until eventually you come upon the same clearing that your friend did. Vast, expansive, surrounded with red and white carts and buildings, and within its center, a large tent. And you can see, moving inside it, a large crowd of people beginning to disappear into the darkness of the curtains. And these curtains are beginning to close.
Everyone, get in. Everyone, get in. Can I race forward and like with my speed blow the curtains out of the way, like back open just a little bit so all my friends could get in.
Absolutely. So I'll say, cause mischief or scoot away. Both are steam, so
Ooh.
it's entirely up to you.
I'll do cause mischief. Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, that's gonna be an 8.
An 8. The curtains blow out, and you can see the darkness of the interior. And you manage to make your way inside without any fuss, any hassle. Something, however, I will tell you, has gone awry. What it is, you will find out. But as the folds of the tent are pulled back and you enter the space within, you see a cavernous, round space, a circle of sand sitting in its center, while stood in a semicircle all around. There are banks of wooden benches, slowly being filled by adults and children alike. Bright light shine down from the wooden rafters and scaffolding around, and on the other side of the tent, you see light from the backstage area, just peeking through the heavy curtain. And you can hear voices all around. Excuse me, excuse me. Mom, the candy floss is hurting my tummy. Well, that is why Mummy told you not to eat too much candy floss, honey bun. Come along. And they are sort of feathering out into various areas. And in amongst them all, broom and hat poking above the children that surround them, you see a familiar and very distinctive shape.
Witch! There, Ixia, there.
Okay. We just have to make it to this crowd. We gotta get to her. How do we get to her?
Lou is gonna start barking at people to get them to move.
This feels like an unusual way of using it, but make a talk it out check for
That
me.
is so deeply funny. Is that plus mush?
It is plus mush, yes.
I think accurate that I have a -1 on my mush in this instance, especially. Okay. That's a 1 because I rolled snake eyes -1, so.
You can mark 1 XP. And I will say, as you do so, unseen by the rest of you, Lou, you feel a pair of hairy hands upon your shoulders, and you are yanked back out of the tent, out of view of the others. What are the rest of you doing? You do not notice this as Lou simply disappears.
I feel like we could get her. Maybe we can yell her name.
Yeah, I can amplify that if you want to. Just start yelling and I'll do the rest.
And
Angie!
and
I-
She
Angie!
is clapping along to the music that's
Angie.
playing.
Angie!
And she's looking at all of the kids in the crowd that all look so happy with their parents, and she's like, "What's that like?"
She's distracted.
I'm just gonna use my little bone marimba to like start clinking out noises, so that like whatever they're singing, I'm like doing notes alongside, making it very rhythmic.
As you do so, suddenly, the tent goes dark, and a hush falls over the audience. Gust, Ixia, and Penny, you are stood, while everyone else around you is sat, and from where you stand, and Angie from where you sit, you hear the crank of a lever in the rafters above, and a spotlight pierces through the pitch-black air around you, down to the sandy ground below. And at its center, lit from above, you see a figure, dressed in a red tailcoat and white waistcoat. You see that this man's almost spherical body sits atop 2 long, spindly legs. A similarly round head gazes out at you all, his pale features, curled black moustache, and near yellow eyes shadowed by an impossibly tall top hat that towers above him. and across his face you see a long, thin-lipped smile. And as he takes in the audience all around, his eyes falling upon each and every one of you, this thin-lipped smile stretches into a showman's grin, and you see a perfectly carved set of wooden teeth. Esteemed audience, adults and children alike, welcome to Tenniel's Traveling Circus! And suddenly, poof, there is a flash of smoke and light, and the ringmaster disappears. His voice continues to echo around the tent, and as it does, he seems to appear and disappear from view all about the tent, emerging from behind audience members, and at one point from behind the three of you, and at another behind you, Angie. Occasionally he hangs from the rafters, others he seems to walk on the ceiling, but every time he does, the spotlight rushes to follow him. Our humble troupe of performers has come from far and wide, traveling around the backwoods, that we may bring you a veritable wonderland of stories to delight, to terrify, to entertain, to warm, and to curdle your very soul. And he appears on stage once more, and you see that behind him a large gauze has appeared, as if from nowhere. And on this autumnal afternoon, it is such a tale we bring to your attention. Whispers from the woods. Let us shed some light. And he claps his hands, and the tent goes dark once more. And from behind the gauze, you see a flicker. Candlelight. And as Tenniel's voice echoes through the blackness, you see his story accompanied by a series of shadow puppets as the tall outline of a tower comes into view. Once upon a time, there was a lighthouse. It sat upon the banks of the grey waters in the heart of the backwoods, its lamplight guiding ships to shore. The one who tended it remained a mystery, but under their care, the flame within continued to burn brightly. And so it was for countless seasons until one day the light began to dim, and the flame began to flicker, and the lighthouse keeper was gone. And these last 7 nights and 7 days, the light at the heart of the woods is dying. The colors of the woods are slowly turning grey. All things sweet turn sour and bitter. Warmth finds itself in the grasp of cold. Light becomes dark, and from out of the darkness comes the fiend. And at this, the shadows from behind the gauze begin to spread. Outwards and outwards they reach, impossibly into the darkness beyond the stage, and within their center, 2 perfect circles of light silhouetted against the blackness. Eyes boring into your soul. Beware the fiend, my friends. You know him well. He is the shadow under your bed, the doubt within your head, the one to whom all wanderers shall be led, and as the darkness spreads, he will take root within us all. The tent goes black once more, and suddenly the spotlight appears in the center of the stage, and Tenniel is there again, the gauze behind him, gone, as though it were never there. He looks at you all. Not all stories have an ending, and such is the nature of today's tale. Will the lighthouse keeper return? Will the flame be rekindled? What happens if it is not? Will darkness take us all? I suppose it depends, doesn't it, on what sort of ending we desire. But let us not dwell in darkness. We are not animals, after all. Eat, drink, and be merry. The circus is your home. And with that, the audience begins to politely applaud. Not a shred of joy on their grey faces as Tenniel strides off stage, and through the back of the curtain, a trio of sad-looking chihuahuas arrive on stage, wearing black and white clown costumes, each balanced on a unicycle and juggling. And Ixia, that which went awry earlier, as you look down to your feet, as the lights begin to come back up, you see that your fox companion, Sprite, is gone. The audience get to their feet, and they file out of the tent, past the three of you, and past you, Angie.
Guys, Sprite's gone. I can't leave without Sprite. And Ixia sprints forward further into the tent, trying to find Sprite.
Hi, Ixia. Bye, Ixia. Did you guys see that?
Angie, you ran away. What happened there?
I didn't run away. I just got lost. Where's Lou?
What?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
This looks like a job for this witch.
No, you've done a
we
lot.
Go look.
No.
We keep losing each other. Do you think that we should hold hands?
We should stay together, hold hands.
Angie's trying to walk forward, but they're holding onto her hand. Guys, what about our friends? We got 2 of them. They're missing.
But we have to stay together.
Okay, so we go faster.
I try to go fast.
We could try to meet with Ixia in the middle.
So, pushing past the crowd that moves all about you, you are eventually able to meet with Ixia. As Ixia walking forward, you see that the chihuahuas are just very forlornly moving around the sandy space, just each of them, their tiny little legs barely reaching the pedals of the unicycles as they just...
This is wrong. I don't think they like being here.
What are they called? Chihuahuas?
Yeah.
Chihuahuas! Do you like being here?
That's a word you just made up.
Chihuahuas! Do you like being here? Do you like being here? Be honest with me.
Angie, make a friend.
Aww.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not good at math. 3 plus 2 and then plus 2.
So, they are hesitant, but they can be convinced. So choose one of the following. You either have to make an unbreakable promise, or they require a valuable gift in exchange for your friendship.
If you guys don't like being here, I promise to set all of you free.
The unicycles begin to slow. And the chihuahuas, as they come to a complete stop, suddenly... and they just, all of them, all around the sand, falling on the ground, before trying desperately to balance on 2 back legs. They just waddle forward and...
Ixie, I think you're right. I don't think they like being here.
We should set him free.
We should set them free. Are they like wearing collars or anything?
They don't appear to be. All they appear to be wearing are these clown outfits. Black and white with big black pom-poms for buttons and a large black ruff around their very small heads.
I'm gonna start taking them off.
And as you do so, you see that they slowly begin to just fall back into what is to them a somewhat unnatural position as they fall back onto four legs, almost testing the ground with their front two paws.
Yeah, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. You don't ever have to stand on two legs again. Use the front ones too.
Guys, you should run out of here before someone notices. Go, you're free.
I pat them all on the head as they are all sitting on all fours.
You see, as you do so, they make to run, and then they turn towards the backstage area and back up at you.
What's back there?
Is this not your full group?
Ixia slowly starts walking towards the backstage. Very skeptical, but she wants to get back there. Maybe they have Sprite. I have to go see.
You guys go. We'll get your friends. I promise. I pinky swear. And she holds out her pinky like they can do something about it. And she licks them back.
And they, all three of them, just begin to run out of the tent, in between the legs of the patrons as I out of the tent.
Ixia, we have to find Lou too.
You guys stay here, look for Lou. I'll go backstage. I got this.
Gust has been barking, has been like walking around barking, like trying to make an approximation noise, but it's like guttural and a little nasal at the same time. Ow! 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 Like just some very pained barking and like trying to run.
Lou, you take a gander, and Gust, make a team-up move for me. Now, with this, you plus your friendship towards the kid in question. Do you have any friendship towards Lou?
I don't have any towards Lou. I will say that I do have friendship with Penny, who I think that Angie has licked the dog. I let go. And then I'm taking Penny with me to like bark around. So I'm like dragging you with me, but also following wherever you want to go to.
I'll begin to elongate myself as an amorphous being. I can have within limits some stretching of myself. My head gets very long to try to look over the crowd.
Lou, can you take a gander for me to see if you hear your friends? And I will say, Penny, you also take a gander for me as well.
I'm not gandering very far at all. That was a 5 for me. But you know what? I have quite a bit of XP, so let me try a reroll there. That's much better. That's an 8.
An 8, okay. I will say with that, you can hear barking coming from within the tent. Albeit somewhat sinusy barking, it has to be said.
Someone is in pain and has a cold.
But as you are driven round the tent, your feet sort of pushed along, you can see that the hands around your shoulders are thick, calloused, and covered in black hair. And from behind you could just hear...
Lou definitely bites them like a little bit, just to get themselves free.
Okay. So, if you can make a scoot away check, and while that is happening, Penny, what did you roll?
I rolled a 10.
A 10. As you are looking around, your elongated head above the crowd, even above the many, many top hats and feathered caps that you can see silhouetted against the sunlight from outside, against the exterior of the tent, the distinct silhouette of your friend, Lou. And behind them, stooped and bent over, a large monkey-like figure, wearing what looks to be a similar outfit to what the Chihuahuas were wearing, pushing Lou across, as Lou reaches their head up and begins to bite down Lou. What did you roll?
I did roll a 10. I had to do another reroll, but I did roll a 10.
You bite down, and as you do so, you hear... And looking around, you see a monkey stood there. A chimpanzee, to be exact. I should have said ape. As you turn around and you see just a chimp wearing an white and black outfit, black pompons, and a large black ruff. And you can see that smeared over their face, there is white makeup and a large red smile that seems utterly in opposition to the frowning expression that is on its face and the large, sad eyes that are almost sunken into its features as it...
Well, why did you do that to me? You should never grab a wild animal.
And it sort of runs up the nearby helter-skelter and just like looking down at you as Penny, inside you see this altercation in silhouette.
I pull back into my original shape. I saw Lou over there that way. They were wrestling, I think.
Wrestling? Well, we should stop them because they could get hurt very easily.
It did look like an angry hug.
Oh, well, maybe they need the hug.
No.
No? Okay, then we should go. We'll tell our friends and then we'll go. Angie, Ixia, love the dogs. That's very interesting. I will reach down and like do a little tiny pat. We're gonna go save our friend.
Okay, you save your friend and we'll save our new friends. And then we'll meet up back here.
Guys, we're forgetting about Sprite.
Oh.
What? Oh.
I'm not forgetting about Sprite. Sprite's probably in the backstage area.
If we find Lou, Lou can also help find Sprite.
Yeah, they're both like kind of like dogs, right?
No.
Wait. Oh. I guess I don't really know what a dog is, but I just assumed like they did like each other, so maybe I don't know. I think that if we save Lou could use their great sniffers to find fried Sprite for you, just like Penny said.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay, y'all go find Lou. I can't let Sprite wait. I have to go back there.
Let's go.
Maybe this will help you. I will pull a very sturdy stick out of my gelatinous body and hand you a very sticky stick.
Thank you. I actually think this might come in handy.
Yeah.
Ixia turns around and runs to the backstage.
If you get stuck somewhere, just like whisper to the air and we'll be there.
You got it.
Angie, as she's running, she goes,
As Ixia and Angie, you run towards the backstage area, this gladiatorial scream echoing around the tarpaulin. The backstage curtains poof outwards as both of you find yourself on the outside of the tent. And you see a small collection of wooden caravans, all painted red, stood around, each with the word Tenniel painted on their side. You see that to your left, one of these is larger than the rest, ostentatious and very, very grand. The others look like little more than cages. You see birds, you see sheep, you see badgers, and in one of them you see a very thin and tired and sad-looking lion. And all around, these animals apply makeup and insert themselves awkwardly into black and white clown costumes, complete with pointed hats and ruffled collars. And stood in their center, stood above all of them, now without his red tailcoat, you see Tenniel placing his black hat into the paw of a nearby beagle hound. And in front of him, held by a chimpanzee wearing clown face paint, you see Ixia, Sprite. and he is in a collar, and he is... And you see Tenniel above him, just looking down. Oh, yes, this one will make a fine addition. Locking him on one of the cages, and we can teach him some tricks before the next venue. And you see the chimpanzee just... Didn't you hear me? Lock him up! Why do you look so sad? Do you want to spend the night with him? And he points over towards the lion in the cage, and the chimpanzee just... I didn't think so. I'm going to tally up today's tickets. See you all later. And with that, he strides off on impossibly long legs into the large, ostentatious cart, and the door closes behind him.
Ixia suddenly sees red. Her entire body changes, and her eyes seem to glow far more than they usually do. And out of her arms, her vines start to spread. Flowers blossoming every now and then.
Angie senses this change of energy. And she says, Ixia, we gotta be sneaky.
Ixia doesn't hear anything that Angie is saying. All she sees is red.
Ixia! And she like gets right in her ear. And she's like, we gotta be sneaky!
Ixia, can you make a roll for me? I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Okay. 6.
6.
Can I help?
In this case, no.
Poop.
The roll I have just asked you to make is a summon darkness roll. As suddenly, Ixia, the red that you see turns black. You see, briefly, the before. You see a cauldron. You see petals being dropped from above. A seed growing. You see a field of flowers. And you see darkness. And you see within this darkness 2 white circles. Eyes boring into you. The vision is gone. You take 1 fear, and you gain 1 XP. As all becomes clear, and you hear Angie shouting and screaming.
We gotta be sneaky!
Ixia comes out of it. Her eyes start to dim, and the vines seemingly come back into her hands.
There you are.
Okay,
Ugh.
you go around to the other side. I'm gonna try to open one of these cages. Maybe one of the animals can help us.
Don't open the lion's cage. He looks hungry.
Okay. And Ixia walks towards one of the cages. I don't know what animal she'd walk up to first, though.
As you contemplate that, Lou, looking up and entirely immersed in this almost hunter's rage, instinctual as it is, up at this chimpanzee that is screaming down at you as you bark up at it, suddenly in your periphery, you see a golden blob and a gust of wind coming round the corner towards you.
Ha ha! Now you'll know what you've done. Now my pack is coming, and my pack has another pack of bees in it. Yeah, that's right. Here you are. Look! I got grabbed.
I'll turn to Petty.
I immediately turn around. I don't know bees for me.
No, it's okay. I've been picking these flies off of your back because these flies keep thinking, oh, I'm gonna get a little one, and then they go right on there. I've been picking them off. Maybe there's some way that we can scatter them on the front of you so that I could blow the tent around and make it look like it flash some light or something and make it look like there's bees.
Okay, not real bees.
Not real bees.
Are the flies okay?
Yeah, they're fine.
Okay, all right. Let's do your plan.
So I think I'm going to try to create a torrent of wind around the tent so that the edges of it start flying up, but still covering us, I guess.
Okay, so from the outside of the tent, as you focus and you begin to blow the wind all around you, can you make a cause mischief roll? And if anyone would like to team up with this, that would add a... that will... unless you have one friendship towards Gust. Is there anyone with +1 friendship towards Gust?
Me and Penny have a friendship.
We don't have friendship yet.
Oh, I have a friendship towards Penny, not Penny towards me.
Yeah, my
Not yet.
friendship's towards Angie.
Yeah, that's okay.
So in which case, just make a straight cause mischief roll for me, please, Gust.
That's gonna be a 7.
A 7, okay. It works, but something goes awry. I'm going to leave this in your hands, Lexi. As the tent begins to blow, and it begins to spin, and you begin to see the ropes that moor it to the ground begin to up out of the earth itself. What goes wrong?
I think that I start blowing the wind around, and I'm like, yeah, exactly like that. I focus on Penny and getting the flies all arranged, and then I start this wind. It starts blowing all the way around, and I think that there's a moment of chaos in Gust for a moment where I'm standing outside and I'm bringing my hands around and I'm conjuring this wind, and it's literally like ripping the tent up and making it spin around. And I think that like if the flaps of the tent were to lift and you were able to see Gust, you would see this like tiny boy, the pupils just very like large, as I think that this is just I'm pulling on way too much wind, and the golden brooch that is on my chest, that is holding my cape together, starts like shining and glowing as the wind gets bigger and bigger.
And as it does so, you can see the crowd beginning to panic in the distance as they begin to file away from the clearing. And you can see many of the animals, now which you notice, are literally shackled to the stalls and the rides that are all around, watching them leave. As the crowd disperses, and you see this wildness within Gust, the tent completely unmoors and flies into the air like a balloon, flying upwards as it is taken up in the clouds and begins to float southwards.
I like to imagine that as this wind is picking up, Penny is beginning to stretch with the wind and kind of turns into one of those like floppy air inflatable tube dudes. Whoa.
I feel like Lou is like was at first like cackling, like ha, yeah, bees, and like gets like smacked by one of these like long tendrils of honey, and they're just on the ground like no, my fur.
You're so sticky.
It's so sticky. They're like they're like really busy like licking their elbow now because it's like very sticky.
As this happens, and Gust, as this vigor within you begins to disperse, you hear in the distance, on the horizon, in the direction of the north, a rumble. A familiar rumble.
And I think it's like that the way that wind whips around you to the point you can't hear, it was enough to rip this tent off of its tenets, launch it into the sky, and Gust is enjoying this, and you all like you're hearing each other, but it's very loud. It just suddenly halts and everything just like falls. And I think Gust gets like those huge pupils get really, really small. as he starts looking for somewhere to hide, but looks over to Penny and Lou, who are like tangled up. We gotta go.
Ugh. Ugh.
That was really good. And Lou's tail is like wagging furiously now, and like kind of gets sticky again. That was really good. Really showed them. What'd you say?
Did we win?
Yeah,
You totally won.
we did win. We won. High five, everyone.
Ugh.
Okay.
And Gust, as you frantically look around for anywhere to hide, now that the tent is gone, you can see through it, and you can see on the other side a collection of carts, cages on wheels, and in amongst them, moving between a variety of animals, all of which are dressed, you see your two friends, Ixia and Angie.
Oh, Angie, Ixia.
Oh. Why? They grabbed Sprite. We're setting all of these animals free and we're getting Sprite out of here. That man is evil.
And she's motioning to them, and she's like, shh, but come here, but be shh about it.
Ixia sneaks away from all of them, and despite Angie's words, the first animal she walks up to is the lion. Ixia looks at the lion almost like she sees a part of herself in him and really wants to open the cage.
You see him just stand on very unsteady legs, and as the grate begins to open and the door creaks, you see no malice in his eyes as he just lollops down onto the ground next to you and just eye to eye with you, just
Ixia reaches out a hand to touch its snout. It's okay. You're safe now.
You hear what sounds to be thunder before you realize that emanating from within the ribs of this mighty creature, for what must be the first time in a very long time, there is a giant purr as he just closes his eyes.
Ixia gets closer and wraps her arms around the lion and gives it a warm hug.
The rest of you, what are you doing?
I think Angie was concentrating on getting everybody over quietly. And she probably looks over and she does a double take like, Ixia! But then realizes she was wrong. And she's like, okay. And as people reach over to her, she's like, we gotta let all of these animals out of their cages and take their clown makeup off. I think the clothes and the makeup are making them sad. And I promised a bunch of chihuahuas I was gonna set them all free. And I keep my promises.
They're all hurt and malnourished, so we have to be careful.
Okay, and on the count of break, we'll all break. And we'll all go to different cages and let them all free, right?
Yes.
And 4, 5, 7, break!
Oh, okay.
Penny, you can go to the ones closest.
Thank you.
So, each and every one of you, make whatever kind of roll you would like to make. How are you individually trying to free these creatures?
Gus laughs and make moves like he's gonna go let animals free, and then immediately zips to another space, and goes right underneath, like it's hiding underneath. Like you see two eyes and the snot bubble hiding underneath the large tent, the big top tent, as he hides.
So, the rest of you, what did you roll, respectively? Let's start with Lou. Let's start with Lou.
I rolled a scoot away so that the animals can scoot away. And let me see really fast. My Steam is a 2. I rolled a 12.
Oh my goodness. As you run up, you find a bunch of wolves, actually, and a number of them in cages, and they look at as you had.
I can't tell you how fast that Lou like literally bites the chains off with their mouth. They're just like
The wolves immediately just make as though to run for the woods before turning to you and cocking their heads, and you know this is do you need help?
And I think it's, again, just kind of like a really simple like series of gestures that Lou does. Like one of their ear flicks, they kind of look back at the other, our group, everyone else in our group, and like wags their tail just a little bit as an indication of like, no, I'm good, go on.
As you see one of them about to come up to you, Lou, as though to lick you as thanks, one of them comes between the two of you and just at this wolf and then at you, looks you up, looks you down, and immediately turns and leads the other wolves into the woods.
Lou's like ears kind of go flat for a minute and their like tail immediately stops wagging. And I think there's a moment where they're just kind of like back to the rest of the group, facing the woods, before they immediately turn around, pretending that didn't just happen, right? And they're like, Penny, use your teeth, like this! And they like come over to where Penny is as well.
Penny is struggling with just kind of like the hands are just gooping around the lock, around the door. I will do a scoot away. I rolled a 9.
A 9, okay, so you get away, but you leave something important behind. You get away, but leave an obvious trail, which isn't unusual, I don't think.
Yeah, we're just gonna go with that one. So essentially, I'm trying to get the door open. Lou,
Use your teeth.
I don't have teeth. I'm made out of honey.
Use your honey teeth. You have those, right? Use your stinger, right?
My mouth just kind of glomps on the door, and I'm just kind of slowly falling through the door now.
Yeah. No, that looks right. Yeah.
That's not working. It's not working.
Okay, we can do it together?
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2.
I just watch.
Between the two of you, as honey just begins to drip down the bars, you're able to let loose a couple of birds. By the looks of it, you can see a flamingo, you can see a large duck that just like walks past you. As Angie, what are you doing?
I rolled a 10 for step up. So my hope is that Angie's small, but she's not mighty enough to break through the chains herself, but she's using motivational words to get the animals in the cages to break them for themselves. And so she's like, I see all of you and you're down on your luck, but I have come here to save the day. I think that you are all strong and you are all intelligent and you are all independent. Bite through those chains and we will stand up together and overcome. I don't know what that means.
There is what you understand to be a cheer as deer and sheep and horses just all and begin to slam against the doors of this cage that eventually ding, 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 as they just begin to pour out over you. As you lift your arms as Free Willy style, they're all jumping over you. As Ixia, through the cacophony, you see in a far-off small singular cage, Sprite gnawing and biting against the cage bars. Just
I rolled a 10 for Face Your Fear, and I want to attempt to use my vines again to release Sprite from his cage.
with a flick of your hands, vines just grab round the front of this cage and just yank it off. You also get, having succeeded on Face Your Fear, you get to -1 from your fear. And you see the cage bars fall down as Sprite bounds towards you, his triangular snout burying into your hair as he just and licks your entire face as he has never been gladder to see you.
No, Sprite, I'm so sorry I took my eyes off you for even 5 seconds. It will never happen again.
And over the din, you hear another voice. What are you doing? And turning around, you see Tenniel striding down the stairs of his ostentatious cart and moving towards all of you. You can see that he is now down to just suspenders and a vest, and he looks much more disheveled than he was before. His waxed moustache hangs down on either side of his mouth. That looks far less polished than it once did, and you see that he is currently pushing his wooden teeth back into his mouth. What are you doing to my family?
Ixia slowly turns around. This is not a family. You harmed all these creatures and kept them hostages. We let them go.
But I gave them a home. What? I gave...
You kept them caged up with no food. They're all sad.
They had food. I gave them cotton candy, and I gave them hot dogs. I gave them everything they wanted.
I don't think that's very nutritious.
That's not for animals. Plus, you try to steal my Sprite.
And you see him look between you and the fox, and he sees the fox nuzzled up in your arms. And you see his hard expression just drop. And he falls to his knees and just begins to sob. Sob into long, grasping fingers, just...
Well, this is awkward.
Wonder if you guys are going to have to deal with this. I still can't look at him.
Those are sad noises.
What is it doing?
Crying about how he doesn't know how to take care of animals. I'll emerge from underneath its head.
Are we really about to comfort a man who caused all of this pain and created his own problems?
No.
I'm okay biting him.
No. But we can teach him a lesson. Let him know
I'll
what
teach him
he
a
did.
lesson.
No, not
I'll
like
teach him
that.
a lesson. Look at all.
Not like that.
I think Angie and Lou are both like, yeah, let's teach him a lesson.
Wait!
Ixia grabs both Angie and Luna. Is like, no. There has been too much pain seen today. And Ixia walks up to the man. Animals require love and care. You can't keep them in cages and make them entertain people and expect them to love you.
And they don't eat cotton candy. They need a well-balanced diet. The cage thing does not work, as Ixia said. And actually, if you really want to be able to take care of these animals, maybe you should just start with one and learn how to make the one love you.
I had one once.
What happened to it?
And he looks between you and your fox. His name was Mock. He was my best friend. I took him everywhere with me. I took him to school. I took him to the park. And one day, I lost him. And my parents told me I couldn't have another, and I didn't want another. I wanted him. And I couldn't find him. So when my parents passed away, I vowed that I would do everything in my power to keep animals safe and happy and warm. But I wouldn't ever want to part. Two best friends.
I don't think Mark would be very proud of how you handled these animals.
You kind of did very terribly.
Your heart was in the right place, but this isn't how you do it. And all animals don't belong in cages or even around you. They all have special places that they need to be. That's safe and healthy for them.
Well, how can I help?
Well,
You could put out food at night.
yeah. You can keep the forest safe so they always have a home.
Ixia, can you make a friend?
6.
6. He looks at you and he narrows his eyes. And he stands. No, there is something not quite right about you.
What do you mean?
No. Whatever there is between you and your fox, that is not natural. And he begins to step back and he trips over a couple of bits of rope, and he sort of, in doing so, pulls the tarpaulin off you, Gust, and looking around at all of you, no. Oh no, he's coming for all of you. Oh no! And he steps back, and looking around at the outskirts of the clearing, you see the animals stood all around, looking in at you and at Tenniel. I'm sorry! And he just runs off into the woods. As Ixia, you gain 1 XP, but you have failed to sway his mind, as Thomas Tenniel disappears into the trees.
You forgot your cotton candy!
No, I want it. Stop, don't let him know.
That's okay, we'll bite him later.
That was weird. I wonder what he meant. Sprite has been with me since I woke up in the woods.
Angie is sitting on the ground and petting the animals that have stuck around.
Oh, Ixia, I wouldn't take it too seriously. It's pretty obvious the guy doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, you're right. Me and Sprite are best friends.
Sprite looks up at you and licks your face.
Yeah, you have a good pack bond, I guess. Or whatever.
I think we have a good pack
I think
bond.
we're all working towards a good pack bond.
Jinx!
You called us your pack, Lou. Did you mean that?
It doesn't matter what I said at the heat of the moment. What matters is all the animals are safe, which is good. Mother Wolf would like that.
Ixia walks back up to the lion as this is happening and just holds him.
He just nuzzles up against you, and once more you hear that reverberating thunder from inside, as Gust, in the distance, you hear a similar sound on the horizon to the north.
Okay. My friends. Wow, what a great pet you just got. Is the lion coming with us? Because we should go now, I think. Get back on the path.
We should help them find their family.
They don't. They're wild animals. The forest is their family.
Yeah, but I don't think the lion is supposed to be here.
I think that we are kids and that if we try to help a lion figure out where their home is going to be, I just don't think that we'll get Penny's delivery there on time. And I think that's right. We should do that first, right?
I think if we try to figure out where the lion's supposed to go, we'd be lying to ourselves.
What does that mean?
Okay, and then Angie takes her broom and she's really embarrassed. I
Lou looks kind of confused.
I think we should just go.
What?
Angie looks at the lion and she kind of gets really close and kind of forehead to forehead, and she goes, "Do you know where you're supposed to go?"
Sort of looks between you each. And then, Lou, from behind the lion, you see a familiar stooped figure as the chimpanzee walks forward and just places a gnarled and reassuring hand upon the lion and just
See? Ixia, we got it all under control, and all we had to do was make a promise that we'd set him free. I think we can go
Yeah.
now.
I think they're all meant to take care of one another.
The animals from the side of the clearing all begin to move in and create one large congregation of birds, mammals, reptiles, all stood in a huddle surrounding this sad but reinvigorated looking lion, looking at the five of all of you.
Now this is what I call a chosen family. I don't know what that means. I just heard my sister say it once. Yeah. You guys, high fives all around.
Ixia walks back up to the lion and just touches foreheads with him and says, "You're safe. Thank you for letting me see what freedom looks like." And just pets his head as they all walk back into the forest.
So, as the animals depart, leaving the five of you alone with Sprite, in the center of, now you look around this windswept, deserted, and altogether desolate looking clearing. You can see the Helter Skelter is on one side. You can see Candy Floss and Cotton Candy alike moving across the clearing like tumbleweed blowing in the breeze. All is quiet, and the breeze is picking up.
I think we did a good job.
Yeah, I'm proud of us.
I think Angie picks up some cotton candy and shoves it in her mouth and goes, "Let's get out of here." And she takes her broom and she puts it between her legs and she waddles into the forest.
Penny, can you take a gander for me?
Okay. I mean, I'll try. Oh, shoot. Gonna re-roll that one. That's better. That's gonna be a 6.
You notice nothing as you follow the rest of your friends into the woods.
There are no problems whatsoever.
What you do not see as the five children disappear into the woods as the pink clouds of sugary candy roll across the clearing, congealing in their center, black and oily like pitch. They appear to rot from the inside out. And in the woods, as the 5 of you walk, what are you all doing?
I think Angie has a stomach ache.
I think Luke comes up beside Penny, actually. And as they're walking, just kind of seems to notice that there aren't any bees around you. Like for real. Like they finally have taken true notice of it. And they just kind of look at you sideways and go, where is your pack anyway? Not your pack. Your hive? Your pack.
As you say hive, Penny's eyes go very big for a split second and then get small. I don't have one. I've just been, making my way through the forest, trying to deliver bread. Pulls the basket out of themselves, puts it back in.
Wait. You don't have a pack? Like no
No,
pack?
nothing like that.
Oh.
Maybe I have a friend or two. Some people like to come to the bakery on a regular basis, but we don't really talk.
Oh. I mean, this is turning into... it's sort of just a pack situation happening naturally. I mean, you wouldn't want to join this pack after the delivery's done, right? You don't know.
I have literally nothing else to do, so I'll join. If you want me.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's super cool. Yeah.
Are you hungry? Just pulls a bit of honey out of their shoulder and offers it to you.
Is that... Yeah. Thank you, I think. Honey actually makes pretty good fish bait. Like for fishing.
Oh.
Fish love candy.
Oh. I don't think I've ever seen a fish. I've heard about them. Sometimes they go in the bread.
Lou is gonna info dump at you about so many different types of fish. Like, you have unlocked now the fish special. This could be like a nature documentary long, and that is all. Lou is talking about fish now. Going on at length.
Fantastic.
And like they're eating honey at the same time, so like their mouth is kind of like, it's not bloodstained, but it's like honey stained, and they're like, yeah. And then did you know the salmon change color and get big and they swim, and they're just like going.
Oh, that would be good in a cake.
As this is happening, and we will return to that in just a moment, the rest of you, what are you doing?
I think Angie walks up to Gust because she hasn't really gotten to talk to him yet today. And she walks up to him and she goes, so, you seem kind of scared back there. Are you doing okay now?
Scared? Not me. And I am... Gust has their little bone marimba out. And... Is it a bone? Yeah. We'll say the bone marimba. And it's just like... hitting the different notes as every step that he takes, which are a lot of constant tiny little steps to move forward. I'm not scared.
Okay, so if you're not scared, then what you doing with that bone thingy?
Oh, this
Yeah.
is my instrument, actually. I play music. I'm a musician, so I like to play music.
Oh my gosh, a musician.
I could play a song right now.
Oh my gosh, a musician.
Off the cuff, I'm gonna improv something very fast. Dig, 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 dig. This is my instrument. I like music. Music, music, music. We are all walking together. And I hit the last note. It's like a high note. And my voice cracks a little bit.
As this marimba sound echoes through the woods, and as Ixia, Sprite, snuggles up next to you, can everyone except C remove their headphones for me, please?
No!
Somebody help me! Ah! Okay.
As you're in the middle of your info dump, fish, salmon, trout,
I love fish so
all
much.
expanded at penny, you suddenly hear in the distance a rustle, a familiar rustle, the sound of strong back feet and tiny little paws and long, long ears. And your ears twitch instinctively.
Rabbit. I am hungry. Honey glazed rabbit. And Blue crouches down, rolls their shoulders just as Mother Wolf has taught them. 1 second, Penny. I'll be right back. And they pounce into the bushes.
You do so, and you run. You run through bush and under fallen log and over mounds of dirt until eventually you see ahead of you, grazing on a small patch of grass, a rabbit. Alone, brown, little nose twitching.
Mother Wolf always says, take it slow. Take it slow, Lou. You can do this. Okay. 1 paw, hand, paw, paw, at a time. And they're going to start creeping up on the rabbit.
As you do so, the rabbit, unaware of your presence, you breathe in, and suddenly you feel all about you an involuntary shiver. The warm autumnal sun seems to disappear from the clouds above you, and through the trees, beyond the rabbit, in the far distance, you see mist beginning to form. And as you shiver once more, you let out an involuntary breath. And you see it hangs in the air before you. And you see in front of you the rabbit suddenly begin to shiver, its ears flattening against its back. And a voice echoes out all around you.
Small, helpless, and alone. Does that strike you as familiar?
Who's there? Who's there?
You know me, wolf child.
I don't know you. I don't know anything about you.
Surely Mother Wolf has told you of the stories.
I'm not afraid of you. I'm not.
Is that right?
But even as Lou speaks, their body betrays them, I think. Those kind of gangly arms start trembling a little bit on the forest floor. Their tail starts to tuck down lower. Their ears start to peel back, flatten against their head. I'm not afraid. I'm a wolf. Wolves don't fear anything.
And this laughter ripples around the glade.
The child. She reminds you of where you once came from. Does she not?
No, not at all. The witch is a witch.
Wolfchild, I will be plain with you. I have desired you for some time, and were it not for the efforts of Mother Wolf, I surely would have had you. I will offer you a deal. Bring her to me. Bring me the child, and I will leave you and your Mother Wolf alone. No more will the Witchfinder and his ilk darken the door of your den.
And Lou looks over their shoulder back at the woods from whence they came. I think like this, the filtering sound of Angie talking about something going on and on and on. Their tail lilts kind of uncertainly behind them. How do I know I can trust you?
Make a face-off roll. You minus your fear.
Do I have any yet? Is the question.
You do not. Or
Okay.
you can roll aha, which is roll plus hope. This is if you wish to prove that it is telling the truth or not.
I'll just roll for now, I think. A 6.
You feel a smile.
Uncertainty. I promise. I can give you what you want. Deep within your soul. I know what you desire, child.
And Lou kind of does like a little pace in a circle quickly. I'll think about it. And I'll tell you when the moon is full.
When it is.
And you see over where the rabbit once stood. Turning around, it is gone. And in its place, you see something small upon the ground. A rat's skull.
Clamp this close to your chest, and I shall answer.
Lou tentatively reaches out a paw, picks up the skull, holds it tentatively like it's a bird egg for a moment before tucking it into the burlap sack that's their shirt. Nodding once, straightening up a little bit, and dashing back into the underbrush.
You do so. And as you do, the mist thickens and the darkness begins to clear as a laugh, as silvery and as wispy as the mist itself, lifts up into the air before it is gone. And that is where we are going to end this week's chapter. We will be back again next week, and we can sit on that for a little bit, you and I see. Okay. So we will be back again next week. In the meantime, thank you very much. Goodbye. And I think taking after Lou, what do we say to the moon?
A roo 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 roo.
We will be back soon. Goodbye. We love you.